you're feeling down in the dumps, tired of your health holding you back, look no further than Fire Your MD Now with Dr. Glidden, the radio show that strives to get you in optimal health. Look out, Big Pharma. Someone is looking for the knockout punch. Here's Dr. Glidden.
Welcome aboard, everybody. The second day of May 2013. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden, your friendly neighborhood naturopath, your steadfast advocate for health, reminding you that only you can prevent MD-directed allopathic reductionism. Our maxim, fire your MD now. Fire your MD as soon as is humanly possible and get everyone in your life to do the same, because MD-directed medical therapeutics for the treatment of chronic disease do not work. This is why we have a healthcare crisis in North America. This is why the economy is tanking. The single biggest stress to the United States economy is the cost of health care. It's the same in Canada, and let me give you an example. Like the fella said, you can't fix stupid. I just pulled this off of CNN. The title is Tough Disease versus Tough Woman. Stage 4 cancer, 45 rounds of chemo doesn't slow down Gloria. Quote, I'm reading directly from the article here. It seems like the opposite of what you'd expect, but my cancer diagnosis, a staggering stage 4 colon cancer diagnosis delivered to me at the age of 28, gave me a new lease on life. Imagine that. It has changed me, I bet it has, and enriched my life in ways that I could never have imagined. Even in the moment I learned of my diagnosis and the grim prognosis that followed, I wasn't afraid, I wasn't sad, I didn't feel sorry for myself, and I wasn't angry. Well, you're just not paying attention. I was ready. I was ready to fight this disease head on and show myself and everyone else what I was made of. I believed that my will to survive, to thrive, to love and laugh and enjoy my life would carry me through any physical challenge, and it has. 46 rounds of chemo and counting, 3 surgeries, 10 rounds of radiation, and here I am. I am still fighting, and I will continue to fight until the cancer gives up, because there's no way I will give up. Throughout my time battling cancer, I've learned much about taking care of my body, mind, and spirit. Well, your spirit doesn't need to be taken care of. Your mind can't be taken care of, but your body can be taken care of. If you're going to the MDs, the people who, after 45 rounds of chemo, 10 rounds of radiation, you still have cancer, it's unbelievable. My best friend in the cancer world, a fellow warrior and a phenomenal woman named Annette, passed away at the end of last year. Losing her has been one of the most difficult things I've ever had to endure, but her fighting spirit and my desire to honor her have helped fuel the fire in my belly, no pun intended. It has helped me push forward with my mission for the cure. You've got to be kidding me. Listen, I am all about supporting and promoting people's positive attitudes. It's a great thing. To have a fighting attitude towards life is a great thing, rather than just curling up and dying, right? It's a great thing. But the fact of the matter is, the simple fact that everybody overlooks, because everybody has drunk deeply for the last 100 years every day from the cup of the myth of the MD, especially when it comes to chemotherapy. Everybody thinks that the MDs can cure cancer, even though after $600 billion of money, $600 billion of research money, we're no closer to a cure for cancer than we were 80 years ago. Now, if you think breast cancer, we've won the fight on breast cancer, then I'm going to argue with you, because you know how they cure breast cancer, they cut the breast off. Well, I guess you could say you could cure arthritis by cutting off the knees. You could cure arthritis by cutting off the shoulders or the elbows or the arms or the legs. You could cure heartburn by cutting out the stomach. But this isn't actually a cure, is it? No, it's kind of draconian. It's kind of barbaric. It's extremely old-fashioned, but it is the norm for treatment now. $600 billion of cancer research, and we're no closer to curing cancer than we were before, and people put up with incompetence. People put up with this because most people are intimidated by intellectual thought. Most people believe that the MD is the king. And they'll walk into a multi-million-dollar high-tech cancer treatment facility, and people feel immediately overwhelmed and immediately insecure intellectually. For goodness sake, an oncologist with a white coat, a stethoscope around his neck, followed by a cadre of nurses and underlings, could tell a cancer patient that what they needed to do was jump off of the roof of the hospital, and they would do it. You don't believe me? Well, chemotherapy doesn't work. In an article published in 1997 in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, 1997, the Journal of Clinical Oncology, they did a 12-year study compiling data from all over the world, datum from all over the world. No, data is the plural. Data from all over the world. I get those two mixed up. Data from all over the world, looking at adults who had developed cancer and were treated with chemotherapy, and the startling results published in the Journal of Clinical Oncology, 97% of the time chemotherapy doesn't work. 97% of the time chemotherapy doesn't work. Well, why on earth is it still used? Because when all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail, number one. Number two, medicine progresses one funeral at a time. Medical doctors are only going to prescribe what they're taught. There's no room for outside-of-the-box alternative, quote-unquote, thinking. By the way, it's illegal. So, if all you have is an axe to throw at the target, you're going to throw an axe at the target because 1/100th of 1% of a time, you're going to do something good. And this is what passes for the most excellent cancer care in the United States. It is a ship of fools led by fools. Medical doctors are the wrong dog for this hunt. Why is this? Because MDs are not trained in medicine. Nobody is. MDs are trained in allopathic reductionistic medicine. And allopathic reductionistic medicine is the wrong philosophy of treatment to bring to bear on cancer. MDs are clueless when it comes to the cause of cancer, and as is evidenced by their unbelievable treatment failures, they are the wrong person to go to for treatment. I mean, if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, flies like a duck, smells like a duck, it's probably a duck. MD-directed treatments for cancer don't work. They do not work. And we have been bullied and brainwashed by the pharmaceutical industry and the MDs to believe that if nobody can figure out how to fix, if anybody can figure out how to fix cancer, it's got to be the MDs because they are the owners of science, and it's not. It's not true. I mean, how many deaths is it going to take? How many more people like this poor young woman being hoodwinked by the pharmaceutical industry, and we got to raise more money for the cure for cancer. That's what we need. We need $100 million more research. We're so close to the cure. You're not even in the same country as the cure, for goodness sake. You don't even know how to cure heartburn, and you're going to tell me you can cure cancer? You've got to be kidding me. How much of a fool do you take me for? Well, absolutely quite a bit of a big fool, because chemotherapy is going stronger than ever. Cancer treatment centers are popping up all over the place because it is a gigantic moneymaker. You've got to be kidding me. This woman, 40 rounds of chemotherapy, you know how much that costs? About 10 grand each. That's $400,000. She's in it for $400,000. She's had 10 radiation therapies, probably $5,000 each. That's $50,000. We're up around $500,000, and she still has cancer. $500,000. And she still has colon cancer. Now, number one, who has $500,000 to spend? Nobody. You know how much money she's going to be in debt? Oh, maybe she had really great medical insurance. Well, maybe she did. I bet you her house is mortgaged. I bet you she's running for the cure. For goodness sake, talk about throwing good money after bad. She has been hoodwinked. And where else can you, what other business can you be involved with where you can consistently fail? And not only do you fail, but you muck it up while you're in the process. So not only do your therapies not cure the cancer, but they create horrendous side effects to boot. What other industry could you get away with that? So you bring your car in for a tune-up because it's running a little sluggish. It doesn't shift from second gear into third gear the way that it should. All right, so you bring your car to the mechanic, and you give the mechanic $1,000 to fix it, and then you take it home, and it hasn't been fixed. 2 weeks after you get it, the same problem comes back. But into the bargain, now the transmission is screwed up because what the mechanic did to help shift it from into second gear messed up another part of the transmission. Okay, so you're going to bring it back and give them another $1,000. 2 weeks later, the same thing happens, but now there's a problem with the brakes because the stuff that they did to the transmission to fix the transmission problem had a negative effect on the brakes. Okay, so now you're going to bring it back and you got to give them another $1,000. They're going to try to fix the problem, and 2 weeks later you bring it back. It doesn't work. The same problem is back, but now you have a problem with the electrical system, the computer. Oh, that's going to take $5,000 to fix. You would not do that. You would not go back to that mechanic. You would not do that because you have common sense, but you go back to the oncologist all of the time. Not only do you go back, but you enroll your friends and family and church members into supporting your run for the cure. I mean, what kind of a ship of fools is this? I feel like I'm in a Fellini movie. I feel like I'm down the looking glass, through the looking glass, down the rabbit hole. I'm in an upside-down, backwards world where disease management is a cure, expensive, dangerous, side effect ridden. Cancer treatment is the norm. Oh, let's run for the cure, folks. Let's just get one more chemotherapy formula under our belt. I'm sure that that's the way to go. Well, guess what? It's not. If you want to give money to allopathically trained MDs practicing reductionistic medicine to come up with a cure for cancer, I mean, that's like giving a communist money to generate a good voting machine. Come up with a good voting machine. Yeah, let's give that to the communist. Yeah, I don't think so. But you don't know what you don't know. And we have been so mesmerized by 100 years of pharmaceutical profiteering propaganda to believe that MDs own medicine. They are the exclusive emperor of that domain, and everybody else is substandard back-of-the-bus quacks. Even though their therapeutics kill us, even though their therapeutics harm us, even though their therapeutics fail to fix us, we go back to the same well, and it's time we collectively snapped out of it. For goodness sake, every time you see one of those pink ribbons for breast cancer research, I want you to think about the simple fact of the matter that 200 micrograms of selenium, which is a mineral cheaper than dirt, reduces the occurrence of breast cancer by 82%. And how about it, the occurrence of colon cancer by 65%. Why aren't we giving money to the doctors practicing medical nutrition to come up with a cure for cancer? Because it's not about the cure, it's all about the money. Snap out of it. Your life is at risk.
You're feeling down in the dumps, tired of your